Welcome back to the Buffa-hoe podcast. I've got Corbin here, Sir Hitz. I got Brandon, Victoria's Secret, cracking a Coke. Apparently that's going to help him this week. We're going to go over our weekly matchups, talk about some shining spots on the teams, and also talk about some downward trends for the teams as well. We'll go ahead and get started with Brandon with Colin and Mike's matchup.
Hey guys, what's going on? So I got a couple opinions I wanted to share out there, and I'm actually going to be looking at a pretty bold take, looking at Julian versus Mike, going head to head, looking at an analysis. Julian's been making some trades. Julian wants to be in it. He's actually going to be looking for the upset, if anything, make it a very close game. Looking at head-to-head matchup, Baker Mayfield has the surprising uptick where he plays better without Odell Beckham. He proved that he didn't need Odell Beckham when he was passing out over to Higgins and other people. If you saw that game last week, you know that Odell just kind of demands a certain attention that Baker just doesn't really vibe with. And I'm thinking he's going to have a really good game against Las Vegas, who has a very hurt secondary. It's going to be slugging it out, and I'm predicting an upset there. Matt Stafford hasn't been the guy that we expected. Last year, expecting 5,000 yards. He's not going to average that against Indiana's #1 defense. There's a reason people traded, dropped Indiana, did what they can, ran away like a bandit. They were #1, #2 for every other matchup. I think they're going to be going down. Looking at Hollywood and Corey Davis, admittedly, Julian has a very weak wide receiving core at the moment right now, but they do have the high explosive, one pass could take them all the way. But comparing that to Allen Robinson and Marvin Jones, Allen Robinson's the only safe play from the wide receiving core that we're seeing here. He's got Gaskin and DeAndre Swift, people who are going to be getting at least 15 touches. I'm going to take that all day of the week. Ezekiel Elliott is carrying literally the entire team on his back, and I just don't really see it. Not against Indiana's front. Ezekiel Elliott isn't going to be doing so hot. Kareem Hunt might actually be the biggest difference maker for Mike, so I'm going to be looking at that. Gronkowski versus Roy Rogers. Julian, you got to make a change up. Dallas Goedert's scheduled to return. I think you got to look at something else. Gronkowski's finally clicking over, becoming old Gronk-like past. Didn't think I'd ever say that, but he wants to prove he earned his 93 rating on Madden. Julian's also looking at Jarvis Landry, who might end up being the #1 guy for Cleveland in an offense, so he could very well show up like Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett balled out last week, but he's pretty volatile. Tyler Lockett could give you a dud. I have him in another league. Last week he won me, but he also lost me like my week 3 in another league.
Well, Jarvis Landry is also, sorry not to interrupt you, but Jarvis Landry is also playing through a rib injury too, though.
I know
he does have a broken rib. He has a broken rib. They said he's been playing with. So
they could. That actually is a difference maker. I still like to believe, but he's got Chase Claypool on the bench, so he needs to step in.
Brandon,
like the potential.
Before you make your pick here at the end, if you look at Mike's bench, he does have Tom Brady that will probably end up starting over Stafford. Tom Brady has the New York Giants this week, a pretty weak defense.
Oh my God.
He's going to make that change. If he doesn't, I'd be surprised. I know he's I know he's a Detroit fan, but there's no way he's going to let Matt Stafford play over Tom Brady this week.
No, sir.
Maybe. So Brandon, who's going to win this matchup here?
I'm still voting Julian on the upset.
Okay.
Because I think he made those trades, and I think he's actually going to come out with some potential scary big plays. Mike's good. If Mike makes the change to Tom Brady, you know what I got to say? The Scotty Miller trap. He's like, oh, man, he's got a great week. I'm going to start him next week. Dude, what the hell happened? Nah, I'm going to go back on the waiver wire or whatever. Like, that's how been the trend with Scotty Miller is. I think Tom Brady just has way too many new options to go to. Antonio Brown was added. I just don't see it. But maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me being a Tom Brady hater. He makes the change. He's chasing the upside.
Antonio Brown can't start till next week anyway. This week, I think we're still fine. Chris Godwin is out, which hurts. Mike Evans is hit or miss, but with Godwin out, Evans is going to be the go-to target. Gronk is a stud. Allen Robinson is working on concussion protocol, so we're not even sure if he'll be back yet. If Allen Robinson doesn't come back, I can see a Julian upset. If Allen Robinson plays, I don't see Mike losing this matchup. I'm taking Mike. Corbin, who are you taking in this one?
Honestly, I'm probably still leaning towards Mike. I mean, I know Julian has made some moves, but I just feel like Kareem is gonna go off.
Kareem's going to be the difference maker for sure.
I feel like he's
the whole team on their back. Everybody's reading, how do we shut down Zeke? Tony Pollard's he got 60 yards on his own. And Allen Robinson, I got 2 words for you. Marshawn Lattimore. If you don't, that's the New Orleans big guy. He's going to be shadowing Robinson all day of the week.
Well, I love Julian. I want Julian to win, because Mike could spare a loss, but I just feel like that running back matchup is
running back. Julian's might have to make one last second change, but he's chasing Gaskin. The Rams, they don't look as solid as you think they do, and they're going to be starting with Tua. Don't forget that Tua is going to be making a little bit of a sub change. And who knows how that's going to turn out. He might just have to keep throwing it over to Gaskin and be like, hey, look, bail me out.
No, for real. Definitely.
Yeah, no, that's I hear that. So we got a couple for Mike, one for Julian, and I think it could swing either way depending on how
you guys are not favoring the projections. I'm thinking of the upset.
Corbin, you want to run us over to Pat versus Brandon?
Yeah, so I'm not going to lie. This is one where I've been contemplating where I don't have a clear winner. Brandon is projected 6 points over Thomas right now, but Thomas also doesn't have his flex or his tight end in lineup, so he'll be at about like 106 projection. But it can still go either way because the quarterback matchup. I mean, Ryan Tannehill's been playing fairly good this year, but Josh Allen has been better. That could go either way. You said what?
Not these last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. But they're playing Cincy. They're playing Cincy, and their defense is terrible, so you never know.
Fair enough.
And then you got Devontae Adams versus Julio Jones. I feel like that's fairly matched. That could go either way. They're both studs. It just depends on if Julio Jones stays healthy. You got Slayton versus Moore. I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt now because you offered me him a couple weeks ago, and he's been pretty solid. So I'm looking still to do something with you if you want to. But
after the show.
More lately has been a touchdown dependent. If he didn't put up 2 touchdowns last week, he would have been a boss.
Yeah, but I would still probably edge him over Slayton. I mean, they got Tampa Bay's defense. I feel like he's not going to do anything. You got Montgomery versus Mr. Clyde over here. I feel like I'll give you that matchup. They're playing the Jets. Even with Le'Veon in, they'll probably both get some good touches, but he'll eat off that. Thomas has Mike Davis. I feel like he wins that matchup. Even if you switch out, who are you gonna throw in there?
Tevin Coleman for Perini.
Tevin Coleman, yeah. Then they have
Joshua Kelly. I'm looking to see that morning how Justin Jackson wakes up, but I got a couple options depending on that day. Game time decision for sure, but my running back too. I admit I'm looking a little weak.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, he has Montgomery, which hasn't done much, but Davis has been pretty solid in that situation. This will be his last week, probably before McCaffrey is, trying to come back. So he wants to keep a spot. So he should be trying to run his ass.
Well, I'm a little scared. I give him that.
Definitely. He doesn't have his tight end in, but he'll get Gesicki in there versus Schultz. So Schultz is on that Dallas offense. They don't have a quarterback, so I give him the edge on that. We don't know what Tua is going to be doing, but like you touched on, he'll probably be just dumping it off to him on, have a safe blanket, security blanket. So I give him that on the tight end. He has no flex currently versus you have Fulgham. He's been pretty solid. They have Dallas, so I'm sure he'll get his.
Carson, baby.
He'll get his. He has Crowder, which he'll probably throw in there. He's been pretty solid, but they're playing Kansas City. I'm not sure how that's going to go. Winner, If I had to pick,
You do. You have to pick.
you know what? I'll go. This is hard because it's so evenly matched. You know what? I'll go Brandon just because your flex is against Dallas. I'll go Brandon on this one, even though you're not projected to win.
I think Brandon's big difference maker is going to be DJ Moore. DJ Moore playing Atlanta, which gives up the most yards through the air. If DJ Moore can go for 93, which he's gone for the last 3 weeks.
Or 3, I was like four times now. Go 94 yards. Give me that upside.
So he's going 93 yards, 3 weeks in a row, 1 touchdown, no touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. So if DJ Moore can hit that touchdown value, if he can hit that pay dirt, I think Brandon gets this win. If DJ Moore for some reason falls off, I can see Pat getting the win. If you want my opinion, I kind of hope Pat wins.
Yeah, I was being honest.
Just because he's 11th, I want to see some of these top teams lose. I want to be able to jump the standings. That's just that's a personal issue, though.
That's fair enough.
Then again, if Thomas loses, they could. Oh, well, no, you're already above him. Never mind. You're right. But also, I want Brandon to have less wins as me. I don't want to be 5. I don't want to be 63 with this guy. I want to, finally shake him and then eventually shake Jimmy. So, yeah, go Thomas.
There's a few opinions on Jimmy for sure. We'll see.
All right, so I'm gonna run it over to Meach versus Corbin here.
Oh.
Let's see what we got. I mean, you clearly got the best running back core in the league with Corbin's team, Connor Henry and Jones. I mean, how the heck we let him do that, I'm not sure. Corbin, good work.
He's a believer.
Cup, hit or miss. Ridley has looked real good with Julio in the lineup. He's looked good pretty much all year, but he definitely gets an uptick with Julio back. For the sake of Julio takes that top cornerback. You look at Meach's team this week. Burrow versus Tennessee, not a great matchup, not a bad matchup. Corbin's running Derek Carr this week against Cleveland. Cleveland's front is better than their defensive backs, so Carr could be a good play. Meach has Freeman in his lineup right now that's probably not going to play. He's got Philip Lindsay on his bench, which is in concussion protocol, probably not going to play. He's got Carlos Hyde with a hamstring issue that may or may not play. And then he's got Todd Gurley in his lineup. He's got Le'Veon Bell. Here's what I'm going to say. So Todd Gurley is going to get his Carolina's run defense is so bad. Then you got Le'Veon Bell. Here's what I'm going to say about Le'Veon Bell. Is he may actually take more work than Clyde Edwards-Helaire this week.
This week I give him that as well.
Because it's a 20.5 spread. Kansas City blows out the Jets, and they put Bell in there to get some work, to get him more familiar with the offense. I think this may be the game that Bell outperforms Helaire, not taking over his role, but just for the week taking the higher point.
I think Hilaire's gonna get it. He's gonna be like, "Hey man, do you? You take the ball."
We're up 40 points. Don't worry about it.
You're right for the first half until they're up 20, 21, and then they're gonna switch over. We'll see. Yeah. I think they might pull Mahomes too, like they did at the end of last week. Why risk getting your stars hurt? I think that's gonna play a big factor here. All in all, it's hard for me to pick against Corbin this year. Meach has had a great season as well. This is the number 2 team versus the number 4 team. Either way, one of them's got to lose. With the injuries on Meach's team with Freeman and Lindsey, and we're not sure about Hyde. Juju Smith-Schuster has been so bad this year as well. I think I gotta take Corbin in this one. Brandon, Corbin, we'll go to you last on this one since it's your team. Brandon, what do you think on this one?
So I'm gonna go Corbin as well, but I want to offer a little 2 cents to Meech. Little just like announcement, dude. You're living in the past with Juju. I think, well, he's coming up against Baltimore, who already have a great defense. He's looking like the arguable third. I can't even say it correctly. Looking like the third option. Deontay Johnson's clearly number one, and Juju is mainly used for a decoy. Decoy Smith-Schuster is the nickname I'm giving him now. He's gonna be living in just basically just hell that entire day. Even though Pittsburgh's undefeated and it's a rivalry divisional matchup, I think it's just not going to work out unless you're really chasing that rivalry, that bitterness that Juju might ball out. Then I give that to you. One person I haven't really seen you play too much, Meech. Beasley is a safe floor, averaging 7.5 targets, almost like 60 or like 70 yards a game. Cole Beasley's been solid. Nobody talks about him. He's an unattractive looking name because he's not flashy like Diggs, but he is like another Robert Woods. That's what that coach does best in Buffalo. Don't forget, Robert Woods started in Buffalo. Cole Beasley basically has that same floor play. So my best bet, if you want any chance, maybe just stick with the floor plan game, and chase some upside somewhere else. Juju is the bold play if you're a gambler, but just letting you know that's my 2 cents on that.
So who's taking this win? Is Corbin winning still?
I am still taking Corbin for right now.
Corbin, what do you think on this one? You
Right
getting it
now.
up?
Yeah, I'm getting it done. My you know what? I switched to Derek Carr because he's the safe play. I mean, Tua might ball out, who knows? But you know, I want to get the win, so Derek Carr have a safe play there.
You have the upside in the running backs. Play that safe floor like Brandon's talking about in that quarterback. I agree.
Definitely, and then I mean, even the receiver battle, I'm worried about Cup, but he still might do something like 7-8 points. He's going against Miami's defense. Really always be solid. Anderson is hit. Well, he's not hit or miss, but he's been like average all year, and then Juju is just awful. So I feel like I get it done.
I agree. I don't see anybody complaining about that. Meech, sorry about your loss this week. Brandon, you want to jump over to what we're going to deem probably one of the best matchups of the week? Myself versus Jim.
I hate that you got to say it like that because it is a true thing, dude. I am seeing Coop Cooper versus Larry, and yeah, it's going to definitely have like the highest differential. You guys are going to probably smash the projections. Tyler, I'm giving you this edge. You dogged in some good trades. Lamar Jackson, I don't have as much high faith running against Pittsburgh. Don't forget, Pittsburgh stopped Saquon Barkley to get 6 yards week one. They definitely know how to stop a run. Even though it's a quarterback trying to sneak it through, Minkah Fitzpatrick's just too crazy on the defensive line. I think Pittsburgh's going to shut down Jackson. He's going to be forced to throw. That's my opinion. Going against Aaron Rodgers in Minnesota, we already knew what happened week one. Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to probably smash that side. It's going to be Jimmy's biggest factor against you guys. Looking at the wide receiver core, Tyler, what you've been waiting 7 weeks for is finally going to come through. You're going to have both your starters, A.J. Brown, Kenny Golladay, in a good matchup. A.J. Brown's going to smash down in Cincinnati. That's just a given. The way Ryan Tannehill's been playing, he's getting 300 yards. 200 of that's going to A.J., Kenny Golladay, smooth route runner. Little Easter egg there for you. But going against the other side, Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, as of right now, Jimmy has arguably the most fantasy points in wide receivers. That's going to change after this week. I'm pretty sure a lot of stats have been inflated before. Amari Cooper, prime time against Philly, historically that's not been good. And it's Andy Dalton thrown in prime time. Andy Dalton has like 2 wins in primetime in his career. Something crazy.
Andy Dalton.
He's not injured. I'm about to say Andy Dalton
doesn't look like he wants to play football.
Dalton's not
He's been given up
that I know of.
Yeah, I don't think it's starting.
They're playing their 7th round rookie out of James Madison.
I don't blame him. So it's going to look even worse. Amari Cooper isn't. You would be forgiven for thinking it's Andy Dalton playing bad this Sunday night. I guess is more to my point. That's way too much of a diving deep. Cooper's going to win the wide receiver matchup. Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders, 2 big question marks for sure. That's going to be Jimmy's upside. Jonathan Taylor, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is matchup proof. He's going to smash that play. Jonathan Taylor is finally going to surge out. This is going to be the matchups they've been waiting for. First start, he's been a little shaky, little like 70 yards, maybe get a touchdown. Okay running back. Now he's going to finally be a good league winner if Jimmy makes it this far. So it really comes to the option of wide receiver versus running back. I'm still giving a little bit of an edge to Jimmy, but you can catch up right away with a couple good upsides. Matchups look better for Tyler, but the players are better for Jimmy. Tight end landscape, you're going to win that for sure. Darren Waller against Cleveland, non-existent tight end defense. I think you're going to be fine.
Corbin, you want to jump in on that? Who do you think's going to win this matchup?
Yeah, so honestly, I feel like it's going to be closer than projected. If your injuries don't, I feel like if if you're Mixon and Sanders and Jacobs play, I'll give you the edge. You do have your running backs backups, but I just feel like Bernard is still a downgrade from Mixon. So, Jimmy's team is
Scott's definitely a downgrade from Sanders.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. Jimmy, I don't know. He just has this weird thing where his players just get it done for him. Like I don't know. He's just solid. He's consistent. So it's like
for sure.
It's like a Jimmy's gonna put up like 120, but you need your starters to play and to really go crazy and put you at like the 135, 134 mark to beat Jimmy. You can't slack at all. Like.
Yeah, there's that chance that I could do it. There's that chance that I could dud it too, depending upon these running backs, like you said. If all my running backs play, like you said, I'm taking me as a win as well. But Jimmy's definitely got one of the best teams top to bottom in the league, I think. So it's nothing down on Jimmy. It's just I think my team has higher upside all the way around. I think Jimmy's downfall this week is going to be if for some reason Dalvin Cook gets eased back into a role. That's where they find themselves in trouble. Or if Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay jump out to a big lead, I don't know how hard they're going to push Dalvin Cook. So I think Dalvin Cook may be his X factor. He may go partial game, or if he gets a full game, heavy workload right off the bat coming back, Dalvin Cook could be his guy. So I'm going to take me in a close matchup right around that 120 range. Corbin, you want to jump over to Otis and Colin for me?
Yes, I do, because I want to start off by saying, Colin, you will have no good luck. You will never win this league if you don't change your team name. Like, you're so adamant about this. You're so passionate about this name. Like, you just won't change it. I don't know why. This doesn't make you feel weird or anything like that. And then you change your team name to I Suck. Yeah.
His picture I suck. Yeah, he knows.
It's like, Colin, you don't suck. Like I said, you just have to change your name because it's like you always have bad luck as far as player injury. Like, it's ridiculous. But let's get into the matchups now.
I was gonna say Meach hasn't drafted, but Colin's got the bad juju, man.
For real, though, that's good. I like that. But let's see, QB. I got to give that to Otis. Russell Wilson, he's running for MVP right now. Matt Ryan is a solid play, but Wilson, they just letting him open it up, and he has like so many weapons. He's gonna smash the projections this week. You look at wide receiver. First matchup is pretty even. Tyreek Hill, he's pretty solid. He hasn't been doing what he's been doing these past years because they spread the ball over there. I'll give Colin that matchup still though. I think he'll do something against the Jets. He'll get open for a couple bombs. You got Michael Thomas on Otis's team. He's not even going to play probably. Now he's dealing with I think a hip injury now.
He's got an ankle and hamstring.
Surprising hamstring that showed up somewhere.
Right. So
I've been sitting behind the scenes. Either way, Michael Thomas facing the Bears. The Bears are the slowest pace of play. Yeah.
Definitely. And even if he did play, He's not going to play. I mean, the Bears are pretty solid defense, and he's injured, so he would have to switch out and try to go with a CD Lamb in Dallas or Gallup in Dallas. I don't know. I'm not liking that matchup. I'll give that to Colin as well.
He's got Jerry Jeudy down there as well, but Jerry Judy's also.
Jerry Judy's. Yeah, I ignored him. I saw him, but I didn't see him, so I didn't even mention him because, yeah. Then you got the running back. Now Colin has Ronald Jones, but it's so hit or miss whether he's gonna be the guy. I mean, he out-touched
Leonard Fournette. Actually, I think
he out-touched
Ronald Jones last week total.
Yeah, I'm about to say I think he only had like 2 more touches though.
Yeah, but it don't matter. They're in a timeshare now, and that's gonna be trouble for Ronald Jones moving forward.
Yeah, it's like, and then Otis has Kamara. He's pretty consistent. It's the Bears. The defense, they're pretty stout, but he'll still get his. He'll get a touchdown. He'll get a couple catches out of the backfield. I definitely give him that matchup. Colin has Gus Edwards. That's an awful play, but his team is depleted. So
Here's Mark Ingram, so he's just going for the starter. He's looking at the injuries.
He's playing Baltimore running back, one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't like Peterson. I mean, he's older, but I would play him over Gus Edwards. That's just me. Otis has Fournette. I don't really like Fournette at all, but I mean, it's the Giants, so.
Yeah, well, they're playing against it. That one has Fournette, one has Ronald Jones. So, which one gets the carries this week? Which one gets the upside? That's going to be the winner of this.
They'll probably both suck this week, to be honest with you. I mean, they're probably like 5 points apiece or some shit. I don't know. And then the tight end, this is probably the best matchup as far as position. You got Kelsey versus Andrews. That would be the difference maker. Which tight end is gonna explode like that?
And let's be honest, Kelsey's playing the Jets.
Definitely. Which actually kind of doesn't matter because even if he wins that matchup, I mean, his flex is another tight end that he had one good game this year. So I mean, I would give this to Otis. He's projected to win, and he probably won't like blow him out, but he'll definitely win just because he has more consistency in his lineup besides Michael Thomas not playing. So I would give that to Otis. And plus, Colin's name is defined statutory, so that's just
true.
I can't pick him.
Brandon, where you at on this one?
I'm actually a little bit of a loss only because the projections, the safer play, the safer bet is going Otis. I'm thinking Colin just explodes. I'm thinking Matt Ryan, he's going to have all his tools at his disposal. They're going to want that dub, and he's facing Carolina, and Matt Ryan's going to be in a dome, I think. So that's already going to be good. He might just overshoot that projection.
They're at Carolina this week. They're not in the dome in Atlanta.
They're at – okay, never mind. Then I'm leaning on Otis. I was going to say the quarterback play might have been the only thing that really made me consider, but
what about the flex though? Tanyan versus Higgins in the flex, like that's a big one.
T. Higgins puts up 10 points.
I think he was going to switch that. If I were to think, he might have switched it. He's probably looking to see if John Brown's healthy. I know he's back at practice, but that might have been.
There's options. He could throw Adrian Peterson in the flex. He can. I mean, there's options.
He could, but do you think he will?
I don't know. He's played double tight ends a couple weeks in a row, so I'm not sure. He's in love with Tanyan for one reason or another. I think he's got that 29-point upside, but that 0-point floor. I don't know. I'm not sure. But Brandon, who's going to win this matchup?
I'm still voting Otis. I think I started that.
I agree. I think Russell Wilson comes back down to earth this week playing the Niners defense. Wilson has had Atlanta, New England, Dallas. Miami's had a decent defense. Minnesota's defense has been bad. He had Arizona, which Arizona's defense has been pretty bad. So Russell Wilson faces, I think the Seahawks in general face the toughest defense they played all year. So I think he comes down to that 20-point range instead of that 30-point range. Is he still a starter? Is he still a stud? Yes. But I think Wilson does crash a little bit this week just because he'll face the heaviest pressure he's faced all year. Without having Chris Carson, maybe without having Carlos Hyde, if you have to turn to your rookie, you may not have that same pass protection. I think that may put some pressure on Wilson, but all in all, I agree. There's no way I can pick Colin over Otis in this one. So I got Otis winning this as well.
Colin's definitely going to toss a couple prayers for a chance here.
So let's hit this last matchup. We got Jordan versus Morgan. This is actually a solid matchup, even though it's 6 versus 10. The biggest downfall to this matchup, the biggest downfall to both of these teams, are their running backs. Let's be honest. You got Singletary and Gordon for Otis this week. He's got James Robinson
Morgan.
on a bye. James Robinson on a bye is going to hurt Morgan because Morgan's running backs are bad without Robinson. Jordan's sitting on Henderson, which is a starter, been putting up 10 to 12 points a week. I mean, consistent. Justin Jackson, we're not really sure what's going to happen with that offense. He could play J.K. Dobbins in Baltimore against Pittsburgh. I don't like. If Chris Carson comes back, Jordan will be all right there. But man, both these guys' running backs are bad this week. So I guess whoever gets the best running back this week wins. But I think all in all, Mahomes beats out Breeze as long as Mahomes plays most of the game and the defense doesn't take over like it did last week. Wide receiver, Metcalf and Ayuk. Ayuk without Deebo Samuel is going to be the go-to receiver there. Mike Evans, he's getting a good matchup without Chris Godwin this week. Evans is definitely the upside wide receiver in New England or in Tampa Bay right now. Adam Thielen is a stud. Minnesota's going to have to be throwing the ball to keep up with Green Bay.
But to add, Jefferson did break out again, and he might eat some of that.
Yeah, but
He's been averaging 100 yards a game, and he's
Cousins
benching
throwing the ball
Devontae.
35 times. 35, 40 times, Cousins going to throw the ball. I mean, that each guy can get targeted 15 times if Cousins is that way. I mean, that's just how it's got to go.
I think they're underestimating Jefferson because he was drafted to replace Stephon Diggs, and he's done an adequate job. It took him like 3 weeks. The coach had to come around and be like, hey, let's change up the formula. And ever since he came out with that press statement, he's getting 100 yards, 100 yards, 100 yards. Jefferson gets a touchdown here or there. He had that breakout. I like Jefferson into this. Wide receiver, I think Mike Evans might falter a little bit. I think something's going to happen, whether it's like, it's just so many other options throwing out because there's, the Gronkowski week or whatever. But it is pretty close.
Yeah, but Adam Thielen has 5 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks. He's gone over 100 yards once, hit 80 yards once. His low score in the last 4 weeks is 10 points.
Yeah, I think it was like recency bias when I said that. I was like, Jefferson broke out again.
Thielen has been putting the points up. I'm not dogging Adam Thielen by any means.
Just because,
Let's be honest, Green Bay's secondary isn't that good either. You can throw on Green Bay. So Thielen's fine. Say that again?
They couldn't get it done week 1.
They couldn't get what done? Throwing the ball?
Anything.
Thielen put up 110 yards and 2 touchdowns week 1 against Green Bay. 110 and 2 touchdowns.
And I'll keep working it, Brandon. I'm trying to get Thielen from Jordan to keep downplaying him. Come on. Let's do it.
Jordan Thielen sucks. I need him on my team. Just trade him. Apparently, that's what we're supposed to tell you.
Yes.
But anyway, Higbee versus Hawkinson. Clear go-to. Hawkinson's an end zone target right now. He's just going
to drop Higbee.
I would have. I'm about to say
the weekly matchup.
Can I finish the analysis here, and then you guys can talk. Let me finish this team, guys. I haven't even said who's going to win yet. Jeez. But you got Hawkinson versus Higbee. Clearly, Hawkinson's the end zone target. You do have Jefferson on the other side in the flex, which he clearly wasn't in the offense week 1 against Green Bay. He's changed it since. And we don't know who's going to get that ball. They could both get 10 targets. They could both put up 100 yards and a touchdown. So both good plays. Parker in Miami, we're not sure how this is going to play out either because of Tua coming in. All in all, I mean, the running backs are bad. Wide receiver quarterback situation is good. But there's just no way Jordan can beat Morgan in this matchup. I think Morgan scores 115. Jordan drops down to 80. I think this might be one of the blowouts of the week, although on paper it's not as far off as I think it should be. All right, now you guys can talk about it. Go ahead. Whoever wants to go next. You guys want to rag on my stats? Now it's your turn.
No. It's just I agree. I agree. Morgan edging the matchup. But I do think Jordan should switch out Higbee for Burton. I mean, Burton's not like a monster or anything, but Higbee has just been awful. Like, and I know because I had him. I had to drop his ass. Like yeah, I give it to Morgan. I mean, like I said, the running back situation is definitely bad. Henderson, he's been splitting. He's been doing better than Brown, but as of lately, they've been splitting. You know, like what do you call it? Like the red zone like opportunities. They've been putting Malcolm Brown in the end zone.
Yeah, Henderson's been taking most of the red zone, but Brown has been taking it. Henderson left that Chicago game with a little bit of an injury. He did come back, so Brown did take a heavier workload in the second half of that Chicago game.
I forgot he got injured.
Yeah, but I think Henderson comes back this week against Miami. Miami does have a tough defense, but I think Henderson puts up 15 points this week. I think Henderson's a great play. He'll definitely take over Brown, barring any other tweaks or injuries that come up. So who you taking? You're taking Morgan as a win here, Gordon?
Yeah, I'm taking Morgan.
Agreed. I don't think you could take Jordan. I'm with you. Brandon, what do you think?
I'm trying to find a reason to root for Jordan.
You can't.
But
Mike Evans and Thielen, that's about it.
But that should give away my answer. I think Morgan comes around with this. Sometimes Wingstop's got that one secret sauce, and give them that.
Well, here's our one upside for Jordan. Carson played through the ankle injury, the foot injury, whatever, last week or a couple weeks ago. If Carson, for some reason, decides he wants to play through this and they let him, and Carson can go off against San Francisco, which is a tough defense, which I don't think is going to happen. Even if Carson plays, I think he's a low-end RB1, RB2 this week. He's not going to be what he normally is. I think Henderson instead of Jackson, or Carson instead of Jackson, if that can happen, for some reason, Carson can play. Mike Evans is a go-to receiver. Thielen can go off. Threes against Chicago can definitely happen. I think that's the only way Jordan has a shot at winning this, is if Carson can play and get him 15 points. Otherwise, Morgan's taking it. That's Jordan's one upside, Brandon, if you want to look for it.
I was going to say Jordan just has to play the roulette wheel with Baltimore and maybe start J.K. Dobbins over Justin Jackson, because nobody could really trust the Chargers backfield right now without having Eckler. So if he wants to throw that dart and say, hey, I think no Gus Edwards, Mark Ingram ain't going to play, J.K. Dobbins runs away because that's what he was drafted to do, I think that might be his only chance.
Dobbins against Pittsburgh, Jacksonville against Denver. Both tough matchups.
Surprisingly, Denver gets a little credit. Yeah.
Yeah, so but we got a sweep on Morgan on this one. Jordan, sorry about your loss. I know this is a much needed win for both of you. I wish both of you could lose, but it just not isn't gonna happen. So
I mean, you're the commish. You could do whatever you want.
I'll just kick everybody out of the league. I win. Anyway, so that's our league matchups for the week. Anybody want to throw anything out there before we shut down for the day? Any last comments? Go ahead, Brandon.
I was gonna say, Julian, take a breather. Maybe Corbin could hook you up. Maybe you guys should chill together. But Julian, chill. I'm saying chill. Don't panic. Relax. You're making trade after trade, move after move. Looking at your team the last couple of weeks. We'll have an analysis come out pretty soon. Maybe another video, or next week we'll have a longer one. We're basically gonna be going down with like trades, how things moved, how everything's going down. And looking at what positional players you have, you either got to just play the look 2 weeks in advance game and make some trades, maybe throw away some names. You're already trending in a little bit of a positive direction, but just chill. You could still be in this. I'm rooting for you this week for sure. But you just got to chill, brother. Have some patience. Somebody has a down week doesn't mean you got to trade right away. Looking at your team where it could have been a couple of weeks versus now, you could have had a couple of wins in your belt. Just throwing that out there.
Yep, agreed. It's going to take him pretty much winning out, though. Let's be honest, if he wants to get there, just with the current standings, he's had a couple bad losses, but him and Pat both 2-5.
Well, this fight to keep Tyler out the playoffs.
Right, listen, we're at that point. You want to hear the fun part? Let's do a Yahoo current projections real quick. Not my projections. Yahoo does adjust accordingly because some of you don't have backup defenses, backup kickers, backup quarterbacks, backup tight ends. But based on what Yahoo has right now, Otis is going to lead the league first place going into playoffs at 10-3, followed by Jimmy at 10-3, followed by Corbin at 9-4, coming in the third spot, not getting the first round bye. Meech at 8-5, Morgan at 7-6, followed by me in sixth place, sneaking in, possibly making my run at 7-6, which leaves Pat on the outside. Brandon, they only have Brandon at 6-7, and Brandon's already at 5-2, which shows how easy Brandon's schedule's been through the first so many weeks.
Don't forget I made trades too, man. Compare my team from the beginning, take week and week basis. I make my drops.
We got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks left till the trade deadline, and everything can be changed in two.
Damn, trade deadline. I forgot about that. I want to trade to championship.
So on that note, though, I just wanted to give you a layout of where Yahoo has everybody. And I want to let everybody know, even though just recently I was at the very bottom of the league, I'm cruising my way up there. I'm gonna catch you all, and I'm gonna hit that Jimmy run where I catch up that sixth spot and just start laying people out in the playoffs.
I was gonna say just make the playoffs to anybody on the below seeds. I admit I've had a good, decent route of like playing the COVID game. This guy ain't playing. I fought Corbin when he didn't have Derrick Henry. That sort of deal. Just make it to the playoffs. That's it.
That's right. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you guys jumping on here with me. We'll get a couple more up next week. Until then, good luck everybody this weekend.
You want trades? Call me.
Call Corbin with trades, apparently. I'm looking to move a tight end. Everybody's looking to move players to get better. So make it happen. We'll be evaluating trades soon enough. We'll catch you guys later.
All right. See you.